Hey everybody, 64 Studios 101.
And WhoFan12 here for the third episode of Doctor Who reviews. Now, we still haven't uploaded any of these yet, so we still don't know how they'll go down, but hopefully you'll still be watching in time for The Tomb of the Cybermen.
This is a second Doctor story.
It actually is the earliest story of his that's fully surviving at the moment as of January 2016, and hopefully that part of the video will become outdated by the time you watch this. Let's hope they'll have some more surviving stories soon, but as I speak this, it's his earliest fully surviving story. It's also the first full story with Victoria as a companion. She's in the Evil of the Daleks. She's introduced in the Evil of the Daleks, but only she's not yet a companion for all of that. So this is the first one she's fully a companion, and as you'll recall if you saw our earlier Doctor Who review series, I'm not the biggest fan of her. She's okay for me, but she screams too much, and she doesn't have enough personality, and she just isn't able to adapt to 60s culture way too quickly.
Back then, I didn't agree, but I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, anyway.
So The Tomb of the Cybermen is also, I believe, the earliest complete Cyberman story.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's only the third Cyberman story, period.
The first appearance of the Cybermats.
Yes.
It's...
in the first appearance of the Cyber Controller as well.
Yeah, but it's a heck of a lot better than its sequel, Attack
of the Cybermen.
That's not until the 6th Doctor era, but there's the great Cyber Controller here. Looks like it doesn't show him, but he's killed off at the end, of course.
Now, the Cybermen here, they're pretty obviously guys in suits, and costume design isn't the best, but the voice acting is very creepy, and they're done so well in here, it's hard to complain about the special
There's
effects.
an iconic scene where they go, like, "You belong to us, you shall be like us."
Yeah, and that's a scene, by the way, that's on YouTube. I believe it's in the Doctor Who YouTube channel. It might be on BBC. Maybe we can link that.
Yeah, we'll put a link there. It's one of my favorite scenes, and
yeah, it's a great scene, and
it's wonderfully creepy. So
there's another scene which, by the way, is also on, but it's not all just scares and monsters and that. So there's another scene which, by the way, is also online, which is the Doctor comforting Victoria about even though her dad has been killed, how she's allowed to be sad, but she's also allowed to put them in the back of her mind and to remember how lucky she is to be traveling like this, and there's a bit of genuine emotion that actually isn't that common in 60s Doctor Who.
It's good. We might put another link to that.
Yes.
So it's a great story, even though it seems kind of unrealistic to have slaves in the far future.
Yes, the story has been accused of racism before, isn't it? Because the one black character barely even talks.
And he's eventually killed off, but he sort of does. He is sort of ends up being a hero.
Yeah, So, and I can see the complaints about racism, but especially considering this is the 60s when racism was terrible, it really isn't that bad. If you put it in the 60s perspective, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, it really isn't.
So, yeah, and the story itself, I don't think it's quite as good as, the story isn't quite as in-depth as certain Patrick Troughton stories, like Enemy of the World or The Web of Fear, although I'd say this is better than The Web of Fear, but
it's a good adventure.
Yes, exactly. It's fun, in my opinion, creepy at times, but fun, and and it has some good cliffhangers, too, that you belong to us. One, that's the cliffhanger, I believe, and then there's the first episode, I believe, is when the Cyberman comes for the first time, and it turns out just to be some sort of robot type thing, I believe, or a puppet. I don't remember exactly what it was, but so the resolution wasn't the best, but it's a good cliffhanger. And the characters aren't the best here, in my opinion. At least not as side characters. But the ones introduced for this episode. But the second Doctor and Jamie, as always, are great. The second Doctor is one of the better Doctors, not the best or anything, but he's one of the better ones, I think. And Jamie is my personal favorite companion.
Yeah, he's a really good companion. I probably prefer going later into the series Leela, but
Leela's good too, but Jamie, he's I don't know, it's hard. They're both really good, but whatever the case.
It it's a good story. I'd certainly recommend this. Whereas there are some stories that, like, I would say you should watch it, but, like, it's not something you have to watch. This is one that I really think is a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Now, before the year 1992, this episode was completely missing. It was really sought after. And then, in Hong Kong, they found an episode in that year.
They found all the parts.
Yes, all 4 parts.
Exciting.
Yes, it was. I'm sure it was. Now, I'm sure some of you remember that. We don't, because we're too young. But those of you who remember that, I'm sure you are really excited. And I hear it was rush released to video, right? Like only a few months after it was found, which meant that people were able to watch it pretty quickly. And I believe the video sales are really good, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, it's a great story, and everyone wanted it to be found, and
and that's probably why they released it. And some people were a bit disappointed by it, I believe, but for the most part, people were happy.
I was happy with it.
Yeah, and that's probably why it was released.
With the web of
it was released on
that, but
yeah, it was released on DVD. It must have been pretty well liked too, because it was released on DVD fairly early, like only 2 years after the Doctor Who DVD range started, I believe. So they must have been good enough that they felt they could release it that early.
Yeah, it's, the Cyber Controller returns in the sequel, which I mentioned earlier, Attack of the Cybermen. They change him completely.
Yeah, it's supposedly supposed to be the same one, and they even bothered to get the same actor, even though we don't even see him, and no one would even notice it was a different actor. But, yeah, now he's a lot heavier. Like, he looks... It's really distracting that he looks different, whereas if they just recast him, it would be so much less distracting.
I don't think that was even necessary.
Yeah, the costumes are so different that it's a bit silly for me to saying it wrong in the first
an Attack of the Cybermen, but
sorry about that. Maybe we'll go at that later. Of course, they also bring back controllers some in the new series, but they aren't controllers.
But this is, I'd say probably 8 or 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm giving it an 8. It's it's not among. I don't think it's like among the best, but it's a very fun adventure, as he said earlier.
Yeah, I'd certainly be willing to watch it again.
Me too. And it's also the set design, like, it's not perfect or anything, but I think it works well. And even though they show it at Quarry, it looks good enough.
It actually looks pretty good when the Cybermen break out of their
tombs. Unfortunately, when they go back in the tombs, they just play the footage backwards, and that looks terrible. Yeah. They probably should have just refilmed them going in. They should have just filmed them going out backwards, then played backwards, if you know what I mean. You might... Because and also the tomb, they quite clearly are just carrying plastic wrap. I don't know if that's supposed to be ice or...
It still looks good.
Yeah, I mean, the plastic wrap from to me looks a bit silly, but and the music here is great. They use the Cyberman, the 60s Cyberman music a lot.
Yeah,
anyone who's seen the 60s Cyberman episode will probably remember that music, for good reason.
I'll probably put the music in the background of this video at some point.
Yeah, it's the... Yes, that music.
It's brilliant, but anyway, it's a good story.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's very good. Not like a few minor problems, but the story, like the good parts of the story, definitely make up for it.
Yeah, so I would recommend you watch it and all.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, if you feel that's about all there is to say.
Yeah. Another story that's fairly good.
Yeah, I'd still say like, if you really want to get into the classic series, I'd still put the Ark in space of all this, but this is still a good one.
It's good. I would recommend it, of course, so until next time, goodbye, 64 Studios 101.
And Whofin 12.
Signing off.
You belong to us. You shall subscribe to us.